safe to say the Olympics this year are going to be much different than years past. After all, we are still dealing with a global pandemic, and the Games are starting a year later than they were planned. Japan is still hosting the Games in Tokyo, and a lot of people living there are not very happy about it. Tokyo is under a state of emergency, for instance, right now because of COVID-19. But Japan's government and the International Olympic Committee have refused to cancel the Games. Only about 22% of people in Japan are fully vaccinated, and the 11,000 athletes pouring into the country are not required to be vaccinated. Some of them have already tested positive for COVID, and they've had to drop out of the Games. Last week, Laurel Porter talked to this person, Jules Boykoff, all about this. He is an Olympian who's now a political science professor at Pacific University. He's calling this year's Games a, quote, cascade of calamities, and says the reason they aren't going to be canceled is pretty simple. And I'm sure you could guess at home what he's going to say. Money, money, money.
The major force that is for hosting an Olympics during a global health pandemic is the International Olympic Committee. They have tremendous power in this situation. In fact, the host city agreement that Tokyo signed with the International Olympic Committee states very clearly that it's only the IOC, as they're known, that has the power to cancel these games. Why aren't they canceling them, notwithstanding everything we've been talking about so far? I hate to say it, but it's kind of because of money. I mean, they get most of their revenues from broadcaster fees as well as corporate sponsors. And if they turn off that golden spigot, they might be in a world of hurt economically. So that kind of sets things up. The losers, well, we sort of remains to be seen. There are numerous athletes who are very concerned about what's happening moving forward. They're arriving now in droves in Tokyo, getting tested on a daily basis. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that this does not turn into a super spreader event for their sake and for everybody else, including everyday working people in Japan, where there's a lot of concern right now.
Let's talk about the people in Japan and that concern. There's a recent poll. It shows 80% of people in Japan disapprove of the Games this year, including a lot of people in their medical community. And there have been some protests there. As you can see from the video, people wanting the Games to be called off. Now, this isn't anything new. Whenever a country hosts the Olympics, there's always some people who don't want it there, and we'll see some protests. But Professor Boykoff says that sentiment this year, an anti-Olympic sentiment in Tokyo, has been a little stronger than what they're used to seeing, and it is changed the entire mood of the Games.
Typically, when we get to this juncture, everyone's getting excited about the Olympics. There are certainly anti-Olympics protesters, but they tend to get drowned out by the excitement at this point. Not this time around. The mood is pretty dour right now. There's a ton of concern on the ground in Japan. As athletes and other officials have streamed into the country, there have been cases of coronavirus, so far more than 20 at this point in July alone. And so there's a lot of concern in Japan around that.
Now, Professor Boykoff is, by the way, we should say, one of the people who thinks that this Games, they should have been canceled, he says, this year. He says that there are other concerns, too. The athletes, they don't have their own rooms. They have to share those rooms. The IOC isn't providing masks. Athletes are required to wear them, but they have to bring their own, BYOM. And they have to sign a waiver saying if they get sick or die from COVID, they can't sue the IOC. That's reassuring.